Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's recap of our daily brief. Today is Wednesday, July 3rd, which means that we have to sort of temper our enthusiasm about the market here. We have a U.S. holiday, July 4th, or Independence Day, tomorrow. Which is kind of odd because usually they like to have these holidays over the weekend. And it's come basically midweek. So price action in the market a little bit wonky here. Having said that, basically the stock market in the US, NASDAQ and NYSE has officially closed. It closed 1 o'clock Eastern time. And of course, as you can see on my screen, it's now 10:07. So all the trading is done for the week in the U.S. market. So we also, econs coming up in this coming week. We have a bunch of data that's hitting the market. And really the most important thing I think that we should be keeping an eye on this week is we had ISM manufacturing data that came in. This was, I guess, last ISM report came in above 50, so not really showing signs of contraction. And then we just had this morning the non-manufacturing PMI ISM come in, and it's still coming in relatively healthy. And given this, I don't think we can make the case that the economy's fallen off a cliff here. We did have a regional ISM report that came in below 50 last week, which I think caught the market a little bit by surprise. But these big national numbers are still coming in above 50. So really no signs of contraction from the manufacturing sector. What I was going to say too, though, and this sort of adds to the uncertainty of this week, is tomorrow, Thursday, is a holiday in the States, but on Friday, and they're actually expecting very light staff. It is technically Friday, a full trading day, and we have the big non-farm payrolls report coming out for June, which is a huge market-moving econ. So get ready for some fireworks first thing Monday morning, and you can see it comes out bright and early. So you might wake up Friday morning after the holiday July 4th festivities and see the futures markets moving dramatically around this event. So just be aware of that. I've actually, and through the daily brief, we talked a little bit about this. I'm actually thinking that the market probably wants to pivot on next Wednesday, July 10th, the FOMC meeting minutes come out. And also, too, remember that, shortly thereafter, I think it's July 16th, it's scheduled, that Mr. Mueller is going to have his testimony in front of Congress about the whole Trump-Russia investigation. I will add, finally, that one of our site members subscribes to a cycle newsletter, and they're calling for a cycle pivot, I guess a low for this cycle, on July 18th. So put it all together. I think this week was a bit of a wonky week. Maybe we should take a bit of what we're seeing in the market with a grain of salt. Stocks, finished very strong heading into the July 4th holiday. And on balance, people feeling good, a big national holiday, wave your flag, all that kind of fun stuff. So not a big surprise. Stocks are feeling kind of uppy into that event. And then also, too, I would say that, this sort of speaks to Mr. Trump's narrative that you have a strong stock market. It must mean that we have a very strong leadership and, reelect me, yada, yada, yada. So that's sort of playing right into his hand. Specifically in the market, a few ideas I wanted to just run by you guys here. First off, watching, of course, the algo very closely here. And it was interesting last week. We had uber bullish signals on the crude oil that fired, and those trades seemed to work really nicely. Move stop to scratch after 2-to-1s were hit. I did notice overnight yesterday, and actually I just noticed and saw this with Jesse James on the site, that the algo actually flipped uber bear very quickly, and algo can do that. And that sort of set up this market structure failure trade, working away. If we actually apply the bot trading rules, you can see we hit move stop to trailing here this morning. At least I thought we did. So I actually was counseling people, had you decided to take this algo trade, at the very least, actually, that's interesting. The entries there. Entry should be up there. Right there. And so we were sort of suggesting to people, mind you, I don't know yet whether this move stop to trailing level has been hit, but I thought it was awfully close. But I had suggested to people that, if you were interested in this algo short, if we actually start putting in structure here and moving back up, especially heading into the holiday weekend, might be an idea just to lighten up and hop off. But we'll see how that goes. Anyway, shake it. Algo signal looks like it did point in the correct direction there on crude. We had, of course, monstrous bullish algo signals on the old corn. As it was breaking out and heading higher. We talked lots about that in lots of recent videos. It was interesting to see we had this double top failure here, which also corresponded with the bot level, and algo went uber bear there. Came down in sort of that same logic that I was just saying a moment ago about applying the bot trading rules to this to the algo trades. Interestingly enough, off of here, move stop to scratch, level hit here, move stop to trailing, level hit here. Yesterday we put out lots of notices and stuff saying, if you are short these bot and algo signals, might be an idea just to hop off, and indeed it looks like that was the correct call. Right now, I'm kind of thinking wishy-washy. We've established a little bit of a top and just a bottom, wicks and tails kind of idea over the short term. So if you are playing this off of like a lower time frame, hourly chart kind of idea, probably your best to follow whichever way this resolves. And when I look at the internals, I actually don't mind the long side of the market. This is the 4-hour off of Altcoin. You can see the bullish divergence, a double divergence that was confirmed here. We rallied up off of those lows, but the rule technically should be we want to see a nice W form after these divs have confirmed here. And I'm a little concerned that this is a bit wishy-washy here. We're just sort of stuck in a trading range for the time being. And we sort of reviewed this on the show today. It almost looks, if we draw fibs going both directions, that we're sort of playing 38.2 ping pong right now. So you can see in the very short term, and here let's even change that to that. There we go. So 38.2, let's just crisp all this up. 38.2 to the upside, that was that rally there. And then this little pullback here that we're just experiencing this morning, there's 38.2 there. And it just feels like right now we're stuck in ping pong. So that means that really not the best trade location. We really should let this resolve. And we sort of concluded through the daily brief here today that should we get a nice test of these lows and we start to see W's, fractals start to fire below value here, we could consider long ideas. And conversely, if we rally up into reload zones up top, I think we can make the argument to hunt short ideas up against these levels here. And if I'm not mistaken, if we change this to a daily chart, where are we here? Daily. You'll notice that that dotted line that you saw on the chart there also corresponds nicely with these candle body highs and that 78.6. So really, we are heading into the weekend. You never know what the corn's going to do. Lots of volatility, but in essence, poor trade location as we speak right now. Algo is just not really excited one way or the other. If I do start getting uber either bull or bear signals, you know me, I'll be jumping up and down. But for the time being, algo is sort of sitting on pause. And frankly speaking, when I look at where we are on the price chart, 38.2s, I think that sort of reiterates that message. The only other thing I really wanted to sort of talk to you guys about here in this video today, what did I do with the chart? That's weird. I thought I had it up here. I have like a nice little 6-screen matrix that I like to talk to you guys about, but if I don't have it on a screen, it's awfully tough for me to talk to you guys about it. Here we are. All right, so we talked a little bit about the crude. We talked a little bit about Bitcoin. We got treated pretty well in the market today. Some of the stock ideas that we've been working recently, the big winner for the day, this KPTI, you know, really guys, everybody learned the power of the weekly W's. When I saw this weekly W down here, I was like, I have to get into this thing. And sure enough, they came out with actually the company itself ran the stock up ahead of potential FDA approval of a certain drug that they're promoting. And stock had a big reaction. Doesn't surprise me that we've run into traffic here now at these levels, you know, think lick left and all that kind of conversation. But if we do good old 50% rules, just a simple technical bounce, my target still here is a good $12, $13. And notice this big gap up here. So we're long from like 5 and change. If I get up into that $10, $11, I'll be more than happy to sell half, get a free position, yada, yada, yada. So nice win there today. Overstock, sort of our crypto proxy. Another reason why I could see crypto continue if the stocks are still happy. You see Overstock did go to new highs. And I'm actually kind of thinking now we might have a case of an inverted head and shoulders here. So if that's the case, we see some follow through. Remember, stock market's feeling very uppy. We could see further price appreciation here. And of course, I've got my free position here, so I'm just going to ride that. Recent winner, NIO, now has confirmed its double bottom here. You know, nothing really too out of the ordinary other than the fact that I like this stock was on its knees. And if we started to look at things like divergences and momentum and all that kind of stuff, you can see we have beautiful turns in here, Davos, W's in momentum and volume indicators. Not really a big surprise to see the price appreciation. Obviously, it's nice print, but at the same time, too, they left a monstrous gap. So if we have to pull back first couple of days of this coming week and stuff, you know, after maybe a employment surprise to fill that gap in, that really wouldn't shock me. But at the same time, too, you know, if we just do really simple 50% rules, I could very easily see this thing up $6, $7 a share, top of value. And there is still this monstrous gap way up top. So I'm not really touching it, but nice to see a nice winner on the books. And then the last thing that I'll mention, sort of along the lines of NEO, electric cars, electric vehicles, all that kind of stuff. This Blink that we've got a free position on now, so I'm not really too concerned. I bought the warrants. Maybe we'll look at that in the next few days. But cute little bot that could potentially be setting up here for anybody who wanted to try and sneak in on a trade. You can see she's awfully illiquid. We've got one low, maybe two lows, but, you know, same sort of conversation I said there a minute ago. If we can get some nice little pullback here and establish a third low, it might be an idea to consider hopping in on the long side as another sort of electric vehicle proxy heading through the summer for you to consider. Okay, I think I'll leave the daily recap at that. Hopefully I wasn't too long. All the best. Have yourselves a great day, and bye for now.